educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Friday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 9:06 a.m. We got 24 minutes until the start of trading, coming into that long weekend. Have a great long weekend, folks. Get some rest, relaxation, enjoy some time outside if you can, and be safe out there. No drunk driving. Take an Uber. We own some Uber in my newsletter, Rocket Equities and Options. There you go. So why not? No, in all seriousness, be safe. No drunk driving. It's too easy these days. Long weekend, 3 days. We're all excited to get back out. Be safe. Enjoy it so we can all come back here on Tuesday. Kicking into the markets, S&P's up 11 points right now, trading at 42.10. You get the NASDAQ 100 up 24 points. How about the Dow up 146 points? Some decent numbers out this morning. Let's just get into the economic data. PCE rising 3.1%, personal consumption expenditure. So you have the core PCE, that is, was supposed to rise, forecasted 2.9%, so a little bit hotter than the market was expecting. You had, of course, 2% is the number they talk about here in terms of the Fed looking for inflation. The whole debate is whether this is going to be transitory at a level of 2.9% right now. And getting into, we also had income in here as well, which I wanted to pull up as I'm skimming through this. Here we go. That increase in inflation came with a sharp deceleration in personal income. So personal income declined 13.1%. So that has to do with no more government stimulus checks, which were in the comparing number previous, but that was actually less than the 14% estimate. So estimate was income was going to decrease by 14%. It actually decreased by 13.1%. That's after a surge of 20.9% in March, having to do with those stimulus checks. Even with the big decline in personal income, so we had a 13.1% drop in personal income coming off that huge number in March. You have savings rate still sitting at 14.9%, spending rising 0.5% in line with estimates. So that's the fundamental data out this morning. Markets pretty much just taking it in stride. S&P's hanging right where we were. I mean, you look at the acceleration we had into the close yesterday and higher prices. We have some earnings going on last night. We'll jump over to some of them in a moment. Some positive numbers out there. Salesforce, they're trading higher this morning. We have some Salesforce in my newsletter, Rocket Equities and Options as well. 42.10. S&Ps, let's jump over to it. Salesforce out with their numbers. We'll pull them up. Strong numbers. We're up $13 right now, trading at 238. Salesforce increasing their growth rate. You put it back on a daily. I've had this on the chart. We chop around for a while here. This area had been support dating back to the huge acceleration back in last August. You trade lower on their December earnings. Since then, you've really been navigating through that area. We're sitting at 225. Now this morning, we're going to open right near that area of about 240. That was an area that was support back in the end of 2020. It's kind of turned into an area that's been somewhat of resistance. And CRM, strong numbers. As I jump around here, I think we're going to see it right at the top here for Salesforce. Earnings of $1.21. The market was looking for 88. The software giant's revenue exceeding analyst forecast as well, helped by the strength in its Consumer 360 platform. It was with some pretty strong numbers. We'll pull them up later in the program, but Salesforce, they're trading higher this morning to kick things off. Talking about other companies with earnings, Ulta Beauty. How about $4.07 a share? Market was looking for $1.95. Again, I stress it every day. Just huge beats across the board. The cosmetic retailer reported better than expected revenue as well and raised its full-year guidance. That's like the trifecta, right? You beat on earnings, you beat on revenue, and you raise the forecast. Cosmetic sales rising as the pandemic recedes. The stock was up 6% pre-market. Let's see how it's doing. We'll have to zoom it in on the 5-minute. There's the action. I mean, we're pushing highs coming into this number, and we're going to open at about 345. So on that chart, you're basically going to push all-time highs on Ulta. There's your acceleration on their numbers last night. Again, strong numbers, right? Beat on profit, beat on revenue, and they raised the forecast as those numbers continuing to do well as we come out of the lockdowns having to do with COVID. Boeing. So Boeing, a little bit lower they halted deliveries of the 787 Dreamliner. Federal regulators want more information on the proposed solutions to previously identified quality control issues. Boeing going to be hypersensitive to anything like what we're seeing on this in terms of the history they've had recently with the crashes, the regulations, the problems. Boeing, still, you're only down $2 on that news, right? Not even 1% that Boeing's down. You put Boeing on a daily, we're sitting about 250. You're as high as 278. You put it back on a 3-year weekly, really did see the fall out of bed. 446, things really accelerate on the 737 MAX, the problem's there, and then you fall out of bed having to do with COVID from 350 to 250. But, you know, the channel lines, folks, that is an uptrend channel on Boeing. Defined in the bottoms here, you match them up, you know, the tops, I'll line it up. But Boeing might be the acceleration, even with the news like that, but a bit lower this morning on that news. Big Lots out with their numbers. Let's see how they're trading before we jump into the numbers on Big Lots as we're still in earnings. Yeah, down a bit. I mean, that's quite a strong weekly chart there. You look where we were in the COVID lows. Even this year, we've traded from about $43 to begin the year. We're trading at $64. You're going to back off a couple dollars on their numbers this morning, down to about 60. Big Lots earned $2.62 a share compared to the market looking for $1.69. Revenue topped estimates as well. The comp store sales numbers are just staggering because business was so bad a year ago. But what's so interesting is that the estimates are so far off on the comp sales. I mean, yeah, they rose at 11%. The estimate was 5%. They're remarkable numbers. You can always say, well, it's going against the base from a year ago, but the estimates knew it was going against that base from a year ago. A lot of this already priced in, though. When you're reporting earnings very late in the season and other retailers have done so well, you better be beating in a big way because expectations get raised. Hibbett Sports, they're out with their numbers. Earnings, how about $5 a share, beating 277. Revenue exceeding as well. 87.3% surge in same-store sales. They were basically shut down. I don't think anybody was running out to buy sporting equipment during the COVID lockdowns beginning. They raised the full-year forecast, and Hibbett's pulled them up earlier. They were trading pretty higher, and they are keeping that high, 96.69. And check out this chart. You put it on, that is a rocket ship, folks, right? There was the lows, 733. Many of these companies, you know, you traded to levels that flirted with the possibility of factoring in the risk of bankruptcy. When you don't have that even coming close, you go from 7 and you're talking about a 12 to 13 bagger right now. We're going to open at 93. Yeah, 93 on this chart. We were trading at $7 in the COVID lows, and it just keeps going, folks. There's no slowdown there. I mean, this is going to be the weekly bar that's going to push it, quite a weekly bar to finish this huge acceleration for Hibbett Sports. But big numbers, and you're seeing it, and it's going to continue as they raise the forecast for that pent-up demand. Dell's out with their numbers this morning as well. I mean, look at all these companies still coming out with the numbers here. Again, they beat it in a big way. $2.13 versus $1.61. Revenue beat estimates as well. They benefit in the ongoing surge in demand for desktop PCs and notebooks, but did note the possible impact of the chip shortage on supplies. So we'll pull up Best Buy. They had some strong numbers. Now, Dell, that's a weekly. There's their action on their earnings. Pretty muted in terms of 98.50, maybe off a bit. Best Buy, right? Yesterday closed a bit higher. I mean, this stock just holding on to the highs that basically it made in August, consolidating around, but lofty expectations. When pre-COVID you're trading at 90, it's held on to about a 120 upper boundary line and 100 being the bottom line for Best Buy on their numbers. All right, folks, it's 9:15. We got about 15 minutes to go until the opening bell. We got S&Ps hanging at about 42.10. NASDAQ tech stocks positive by 21. Dow positive by 147. And stay tuned, folks. We'll be taking a look at some of the Reddit meme stocks. You got AMC rocking higher again today. You got Bitcoin down to about 36,000. GameStop quite a week as well. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back in 3 minutes.
Golden ratios give shape to everything in our world, represented in the Fibonacci sequence. These special numbers define the patterns that make up our universe. Not even markets can escape the omnipotence of these ratios. Larry Pesavento is a 45-year market veteran who has published nearly a dozen books on the powerful patterns we find in nature and their relationships with the ever-elusive markets. Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, will teach you to harness the power of these natural golden ratios in order to create successful trades. Fibonacci 24/7 is designed to teach the tools you need to identify and act on these undeniable and reoccurring patterns. Sign up for Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, and you will also receive free access to his trading webinar, Trading Strong Trending Markets. Try out Larry's newsletter risk-free. All of TFNN's newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. I got a chart of Salesforce up here. As I mentioned, some strong numbers. Getting into the actual numbers, they're up about $12, and we do have some Salesforce in my newsletter, folks. You can try it out. Rocket Equities and Options, everything we do. We got Basil Chapman coming up next, Larry Pesavento at noon. Everything we do, folks, 30-day money-back guarantee for new customers. I say, though, just disclosures, we have it, but I'm going to go through the numbers. They're strong numbers. I know I'm biased, but, man, when you look at this company, so they reported $5.96 billion for the first quarter, ended April 30th, up 23% from a year ago. Where are they versus expectations? About $100 million above it. You were talking about expectations of 5.87 to 5.885. Street consensus at 5.89. Now, what's interesting here, I'm just going to fast forward to the yearly in terms of the numbers. For January 2022 fiscal year, the company sees revenue of almost $26 billion and a profit of about $3.80 a share. The market was looking for $25.8 billion, so a slight beat there and a slight beat on the earnings of $3.43. The company said the full year includes about $500 million in contributions from Slack. Salesforce expects that acquisition to close toward the very end of fiscal second quarter. Now, I'm going to jump real quick back to the daily here. Slack has been a real headache for Salesforce. I think it might have come out November 25th. This is a daily, and that was quite an acceleration when the world found out that it was first reported, I believe. And I'll check this one, but that's a big volume day. It really accelerated lower. I think the real news came out that day. Continue to accelerate on the earnings out there as well. I'll have to look into the date, Salesforce, on that one. But nonetheless, this has been hampered by that acquisition, right? So they're beginning to say it's going to close towards the very end of the fiscal second quarter. And here's the one I wanted to talk about. We had the best first quarter in the company's history. Of course, the CEO is going to say that. We're on path to reach $50 billion in revenue in fiscal year 2026. Now, they're just talking about 2022 right now. So you got 4 more years you got to get to. But they're doing about $26 billion of revenue in 2022, which is almost doubling their revenue over a 4-year period. Any business would kill for that. There's a lot of growth priced into a company like CRM. which is what equals that company being worth. I mean, let's see where we are today on CRM. You're looking at a $219 billion market cap as of yesterday's close, I believe that is. So that's going to rise overnight. But nonetheless, you're seeing 2026, you're going to be taking in that much revenue, but it is always interesting, right? You're taking in that much revenue, so they're going to trade at what? They're trading right now. You're going to be approaching trading at about 4 to 5 times revenue in 2026 multiples. So a lot of growth priced into that equity, but strong numbers nonetheless. And it'd be interesting to see how this trades, whether it comes up to the high. Really interesting when you look at where we are. The high of April, you're talking about a high print of 238.33. We're basically flirting right with that number as you're going to open to that level, also correlating to the lows we had on a couple occasions dating back to the end of 2020. All right, jumping around to what else we got going on in terms of stocks moving this morning. We'll talk about HPQ. They're out with their numbers, talking about computers. We talked about Best Buy already, right? We talked about Dell. Also benefited from the elevated computer demand. They better have, because their competitors are crushing it. They beat by just 4 cents, though, 93 cents a share. Revenue topped as well. Raised the full year forecast. That's what the market's really looking for. But they also warned of a possible chip shortage impact. That's a worry across the board, folks. HPQ. And we're going to trade down about, I mean, that is quite a chart, right? Let's back it up to the 3-year weekly. You're talking about from $12 to 36, quite a little pullback we've just happened. Now we're going to be back to 30, all right? What I always love to do is just in my head, I want to see real quickly, if you get a 38% retracement off some of these runs that you've gotten, right? Just like that, you're talking about maybe 28.86. We're going to open at 30.30. That's definitely in game, folks. That'd be the area I'd look for that at in 28.86. But this chip shortage, it's going to hit everybody, and you're seeing it across the board. You just saw it in HBQ, you saw it in Dell, you see it across the board. Costco out with their numbers, $2.75 a share. Market was looking for $2.35. Revenue beat forecast as well. Warned of increasing costs for products and workers' salaries. That's a theme as well, right? Costco, basically flat. I mean, look at that weekly, quite a weekly. You pull up the 15-minute, and you're chopping around 385, basically in line. Costco, if you looked at it yesterday, I forget what the expected move was, but not much at all. And it's because you see the move that it has. Now, folks, the Thinkorswim platform, okay, you get into the Analyze tab, you get into the Earnings tab. It's great. You can see the comparative implied and historical volatilities of their previous earnings reports, how the stock reacted, and you know what tends to happen. A company like this, not like a growth company with huge variances on their earnings. Nonetheless, there was volatility to be absorbed when you're only talking about trading $2 from where that thing was at yesterday for a $385 stock. Strong numbers for quarter for Costco. Gap out with their numbers, 48 cents a share. Market was looking for a loss of 5 cents. How about that one? Revenue beat estimates. Company issued an upbeat forecast. Talk about what have you done for me lately. Despite all that, Gap is lower, it says. Let's see how Gap is trading. GPS is their symbol. And yeah, you're going to be basically flat. I mean, that is a tough one in terms of what the market is looking for. A profit of 48 cents, the market say a loss. Maybe there's more going on in the numbers. Headline number, you'd say that trade's higher, but something is in there, or the expectation was in there for even bigger numbers than that. Maybe it's the revenue side. They didn't quite beat it to the way some of the other retailers are doing it. Nonetheless, they are lower this morning. All right, let's jump around to some of the Reddit stocks. Man, I'm sending memes myself to some of my buddies. I don't know if you know it. I don't know if you knew it, folks. That's the way. I don't know if you're aware. Let's put it that way. But movie theaters are the future. That's what the chart is telling us. I kid, folks. I kid. But I'm not sure what's going on in AMC. The craziness is going to continue this morning. You're going to be up about another 20% this morning at $32.30. You're talking about a market cap. I think we're pushing $16 billion, is that what we're at? 14.5. So it's probably $16 billion, somewhere in the neighborhood of where this was trading at this morning. I saw it. For a company to be smartly so, intelligently so, on some of these runs as they've issued shares. But we're in new lofty territory, folks. We haven't seen anything. Look at this daily. Look at yesterday's daily. You thought things were crazy back in January? We just put crazy to shame. We're going to open at $32 on AMC. Now, that's the daily. We're going to put it on a 5-year weekly to see what we're coming up to, okay? We're going to open at $32. How about this? We're going to be testing the highs from 2016, the end of 2016, folks. Let's see where the high technically is. The high is technically going to be the week of December 26th. We're talking about a high of $33.95. We're going to open at 32 on AMC. Let's back it up even further than that. to see where we're talking about. And interesting that that's going to open right near this high as well. How about that double top? Did you see AMC pushing highs of, let's see how far we go back. Does that go back all? That goes back all. So you're talking about all-time highs for AMC we're going to push this morning. Not sure the market had that when you were trading at $1.91 early in the year. But, folks, it's a brave new world we're trading at. Let's pull up GME while we're at it, all right? This is the monthly pushing it back to, as long as it's been public, you push it back to 2002 and 2003. And this recent run stands out, to say the least. Let's zoom it back in on a daily. We'll see the whole run we've had. And GME, we're going to open at 262. So you're looking at an area remarkable that we've actually maybe gotten back to the highs we had in March. Not sure we'll push it up to the highs we had in January, folks, but man, did not imagine that AMC had another leg run higher, and the short sellers probably didn't either. And that's what some of this talks about. How about $1.3 billion loss, 120% surge so far this week? If you're playing in these stocks, folks, quick fingers and make sure the money you have at risk is defined. Maybe use some option markets. I don't even know if that's possible, though, with the amount of volatility premium they're putting into those options. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back with the opening bell.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den trading room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
All right, folks, we got markets open, and we get the S&Ps right now up about 14 points, the NASDAQ 100 up about 40, and the Dow up about 160 points. The Russell hanging out the gains up about 12 points as well. Jumping around, we got Bitcoin down about $2,000, catching a little bit of a bid, though, since about 8 a.m. this morning. You're up approximately about $1,500, trading at $36,855. We're going to jump around a little bit to the crypto news cycle that we have going on this morning. And interesting as you jump through the headlines that I have just this morning that I got up here, 3 of them in particular. So, of course, you have the headline number, right? Bitcoin falls again. We're going to put Bitcoin, let's put it on a daily real quick. Quite an acceleration to lower prices, folks. Are we going to chop around between about 30 and 40,000? Is 40,000 going to be the new ceiling for Bitcoin? You would think. I mean, May 19th is when you really have that acceleration down to 30,000. It's now May 28th. That's a long time in the world of crypto, and you've been consolidating under 40,000, correlates to the area that we traded lower from on January 7th as well. Now, interesting. So non-fungible token, right, for Nobel Prize winning data to be auctioned by UC Berkeley. The university is going to sell the data for gene editing and immunotherapy. Proceeds to fund further scientific research, university says. You like to see that, of course. Everybody's getting in the business, folks. Why not? When you can sell something that basically is worthless as of like a year ago, right? You're selling the data in an NFT form to be auctioned. Tom Brady, he's a big believer in cryptos. Why not? He's a 7-time Super Bowl champion. He's over there, the CoinDesk Consensus 2021 Forum. Now, he has quite a self-serving interest here. When you look earlier this year, Brady announced an NFT platform called Autograph that will auction off pieces of digital content linked to the blockchain when it launches sometime this spring. So you have Brady, Tom Brady, an NFL quarterback. He is going to be launching a non-fungible token platform. But it's brilliant because we've seen what's happened with the NBA deal, right? If there is a market for this, it would make sense that autographed NFTs, I guess, would have a form of value as well. Nonetheless, always remarkable when you see that. And then you had out there Todd Morley, who co-founded Guggenheim Partners in '99. He was out there all last week. I saw him all over. He was on Bloomberg. They're going to have the world's largest non-fungible token museum in a building, I believe they're building. Yeah, the building's being developed, and you have basically a skyscraper close to the Museum of Modern Art right near that area, and they're going to have real-world objects such as photos, videos, and digital art. The thing that's kind of bananas here, folks, is that when you have a real museum, you're seeing things that you can't see anywhere else. I understand the idea that a non-fungible token is a way to understand an original piece of digital artwork potentially, or an original piece of anything that cannot be mimicked as many digital pieces of art can. But to now be in the business, if we're going to have museums, you know, I've been to Amsterdam and seen some the Van Gogh Museum out there, right? Amazing. You can't see that anywhere else. They serve an actual purpose. When you start having non-fungible token museums that you can pull up, anybody can pull up, as long as you have the same type of clarity screen, right? Maybe they're going to have 4K screens. Maybe they're going to have 8K screens that you need to show it. Nonetheless, it's not going to create any more value to the person consuming that art, we'll call it. Might be a little lofty, folks. You know, I start seeing museums. Okay, I know the hype. Todd Morley, obviously a brilliant guy, founding investment firm Guggenheim Partners more than 20 years ago. He's riding the wave in crypto. I understand that. But who's going to pay money to walk through that thing and see digital pieces of art when you can go pull it up online and see the same pieces of digital art? The same exact thing. I can't do that with a real Van Gogh. You can't do it. Anyway, there's my piece on that one. So be careful in that market. You know, you got Super Bowl quarterbacks starting, NFT exchanges, platforms. You got buildings being built with museums that are going to showcase digital art that realistically anybody can view anywhere else. It's just, you know, anyway, there's the take on that one. Okay, let's jump around and see some of the stocks we talked about, how they're trading on the open this morning. We'll jump to AMC first. Let's see how it's not stopping, folks. 36.72. How about that one? Okay, I think we just pushed all-time highs in that moment. We sure did. How's that for a monthly bar for you on AMC? to 36.72. Is that a bullish engulfing that basically just engulfs almost 6 to 7 years of trading for AMC? I think it is, folks. Be careful in this market. It's not sure where it ends. I joke with friends, it's a game of hot potato for billions of dollars. Just don't be the last one standing with the hot potato and you're fine. It's not a game of investing on fundamentals, though. It is literally at this point a game of hot potato. Who's the one last? You can buy it. You can sell it to somebody else tomorrow, but don't be the person who gets stuck with it last before there's buyers, because then what happens? You get stuck in a red bar that potentially trades down 90%. I mean, give or take. You could easily be back at $10. That'd be nothing. That would be above anywhere you traded in 2020 on this equity. And let's see how GME is trading this morning. We're up another 4% on GameStop this morning as well. All right, let's jump around to some of those stocks with earnings. Salesforce, a little bit of an acceleration up to 243. You're holding up about 5.3%. We had Hibbett Sports trading up, and they're giving it back, down about 1.6%. We have Gap was out with their numbers last night. Yeah, there's a give back, down about 4.8% on their numbers this morning as well. What else we got going on? Jumping around. How about Google? Wanted to talk about this one real quick. Let's see how Google is trading. Google has been one of the strongest equities out there. Up about 0.6% so far this morning, $24.18, up $16. Google, so the news out there, reportedly near settlement of French antitrust case. So there's a lot of conversation about Amazon, that more states are joining the antitrust battle with Amazon. I have some Amazon as well. Everybody almost has some Amazon if you own any type of index fund whatsoever. But Amazon trading at 32.38, so there's a lot of discussion about that, right? You look at this consolidation Amazon's been in basically since the beginning of July of last year, where you climb above $3,000. You've been shopping around between $3,000 and maybe $3,500 to the upper boundary. We're almost square right in the middle of that range at 32.37. Point being, these businesses, it's just almost the cost of doing business at this point. I believe maybe it was that Google, was this the area on their chart, I think, where antitrust concerns really started to peek their head above water, and you traded from 1733 down to 1400, and since then, Google has traded up $1,000 in price since last September, and realistically, you have not had any type of a substantial pullback, as Google is potentially going to deal with some antitrust problems, but it might just be the cost of doing business, folks. And that's what probably is going to happen with Amazon. I do not see that company getting broken up in any dramatic fashion. I'm just going to draw this real quick to illustrate what we're talking about here in terms of the pullback on Google, because Google is a rocket ship to the upside in a big way. And there's a pretty well-defined channel line, folks. And you're sitting basically in the middle of that to the upside on Google, sitting at 24.19. So when you hear the discussion about Amazon, we're in quite a consolidation. You have Amazon right now. You're trading at a level that puts Amazon worth about $1.63 trillion. I don't see Amazon getting decimated to any real degree, even if they get broken up, when you've been consolidating basically since July of last year. You're pushing a 12-month consolidation in Amazon when the trend is purchasing things online. I joked with a friend the other day. I was looking at some supplements, some health supplements, and GNC. I was going to order them because Amazon didn't have them. GNC told me free delivery in 3 to 7 business days, and I almost laughed because Amazon has spoiled us all with same day, next day delivery. 3 to 7 business days for GNC. They got to get it together. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back after the break.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We have the S&P's positive by 10. Jumping around to some of the stocks that are moving today, we got Canopy Growth up another 3% so far today. Quite a rise this week. So you started things off on Tuesday getting an upgrade. So I think it's MKM Partners I have up here at one point. They got an upgrade basically after falling back pretty substantially. I have a daily chart here of Canopy Growth. Quite the downtrend channel. Quite an acceleration, though. You look where we were. And that is Monday, I believe, correct? Yes, it is. The bottom there, Monday, you're talking about a low of $22.36. And just like that, you had basically $3. You're talking about almost 13% to the price of this equity in just 1 week. And you see somewhat breaking that downtrend channel. Keep these in your radar, folks. If you're trying to get some exposure to it, you could add a little bit of a partial position here. You look where we've been in terms of backing things up for a 5-year weekly, right? Not a bad area to enter Canopy at $25 when you look at where we've been. Now, $20 was actually on the radar. I was looking at trying to get or even into this equity maybe as an entry, but it might be off to the races on these cannabis stocks as the potential may be coming up there in a big way, and you're seeing the acceleration hold. And I'm just going to zoom in again on that weekly. Yeah, you're talking about a weekly of $22.36. We're up more than $3 on that, so about 11% pop this week alone. And as you can see, breaking that trend in a big way. Okay, let's jump back to the 15-minute on a short-term basis. For some of the other stocks, we'll jump around some of my favorite. Let's take a look at Disney. Disney's been quite a pop since the lows it had. You put this on a daily. You pull back to a 382. You bounce at about 170. We actually reached the low of 167 short-lived. We've now bounced from that area. We're sitting at 178.78. Uber catching a little bit of a bid off the lows as well. Now, real interesting, right? Now, that's a daily. Let's go back to the 3-year weekly. Two different trends here, I believe, right? Because we had Uber. But look where we bounce, right? We bounce at the 382. Really interesting. Some volatility in the stock. But, man, on Uber, we were just trading at 43.17 a couple weeks ago. You've now gained $7 in that equity in that time. We're trading back above $50. And I was just talking about Disney. Disney, a little bit of a different trend. The first trend in Uber, we were talking about this entire move from March. You pull it back to the move when Disney began in December. And again, you're talking about that 382. So that was an area, a nice pop from 170 on Disney shares as well. Let's take a look at gold this morning. Gold, back in the positive at 1,900. Gold, love the Fibonacci numbers, folks. They're always everywhere on my charts. You go from a run of 1,450 in the COVID lows to 2,089. Gold trades all the way back to the 618 retracement of about $1,700. It bounces twice on that and then accelerates higher to back above 1,900 right now. And the price of gold, and that was a nice entry, folks. It's not only was it a 618, but you had this nice area of support here that it had built going back to April. Okay, that was a nice area of support at about 1,700, correlates to the 1,700, that's a 618. You also had a bounce here in March 8th, and it gets back down there March 29th and takes off, and that is a rising trend as well in the price of gold. You want to see the trend lines. Now, you could have made a good case here, right, of gold being in a downward trend channel in a big way, matching up those lower lows and lower highs. But there you go, folks, breaking out of that trend in the last couple of weeks at 1,900 for the price of gold. All right, what else we got going on in terms of what I have up here talking about this morning? Tesla. So they lose their coveted top pick in Consumer Reports. The magazine cited temporary loss of some advanced safety features. They're no longer going to have radar from this month. Really interesting and seeing how this plays out. So this was all talked about. I saw articles yesterday talking about the radar. They ditched the radar as a supplement to its camera-based sensors and moved the temporarily suspended several advanced safety systems. The influential magazine said Thursday it removed that top pick it is from Consumer Reports just yesterday. Now, Tesla's been very volatile for many reasons, and you're basically flat this morning. There's a weekly, so a little bit of a pop on the weekly. 600 about looks to be an area of support on Tesla. You put it on the 15-minute, trading higher last night and the close, trading higher today, but flat right now at 630. But keep that one on your radar because, as they put it, this is nothing to balk at, as in if a driver thinks their vehicle has a safety feature and it doesn't, that fundamentally changes the safety profile of the vehicle. Remarkable that, we're now dealing with cars as like computers that are controlled by the cloud. It had a safety feature, now it might not have a safety feature. And all of a sudden, that car you were driving yesterday is a different vehicle that's been updated from the cloud. You didn't even do anything. The magazine said scoring of the Model 3 dropped by 3 points to 75, still enough to retain its recommended status. Consumer Reports said Tesla did not respond for a request for comment. And, I guess that move comes after the Highway Safety Administration stopped labeling certain Model 3 and Model Y sport utility vehicles equipped with features such as automated emergency brakes. Yeah, they're changing a lot. I mean, it's just remarkable when you look at the run Tesla had in the pullback. You were all the way up to 900. We're back to 600 right now. You're still talking about a market capitalization for a company at $606 billion for this equity. Remarkable when you look at, prior to COVID, you were trading at 170. Prior to announcing that stock split, you were trading at 273 back in August. The stock splits. Now, that's 273 post-split. Stock splits, you get add to the S&P, and this thing takes off and never looks back. All right, let's jump around to some of those FANG stocks, as I mentioned. Google shares, there's your uptrend. Google up almost a full percent. This market is melting up, folks. Up 0.8%. They had quite a close to the downside yesterday. Microsoft is accelerating higher as well this morning, up about a full percent to 251.66. We talked about Amazon in the middle of their range, but up about 0.3%. Apple shares down about 0.1%. Saw some articles out there. Apple, they're going to be redesigning some of their AirPods potentially this year, next year. They're always trying to push out new products, folks, even though I'm a fan of most of their products. I do have their AirPods. Interesting enough, I have the AirPod Pro, AirPod Pro, I think it is. And they create kind of that vacuum seal, noise cancellation deal. Actually not a fan of it. I don't like the pressurization it creates in my ears. I have the older ones to actually still use. Not good when you try and buy an upgraded product and you actually prefer the one you bought 5 years back. But that's my personal preference. I know I have friends that love it as well. But Apple, you're talking about a company. How about Apple being worth to the tune of $2.08 trillion? That's why when you look at a company like Amazon, it's worth about $1.6 trillion. And you're telling me they might face some serious woes that could cause Amazon to pull back substantially. I don't see Apple being worth double the company Amazon is anytime soon, folks. I just don't see it. You get over to Microsoft shares. Microsoft, you're talking about a company pretty close to Amazon, but not quite. It's $1.9 trillion from Microsoft as they continued to gain in a big way. And even Facebook, not even close, but Zuckerberg has just such a control in this company. No, I shouldn't say not even close. $936 billion as they climb closer to the 1 trillion mark. I mean, Facebook. Look at Facebook. Did we just make new all-time highs? No, yesterday we did. Not quite up there. Yesterday, new all-time highs for Facebook. Continued strength in a big way. Twitter, backing off some of the highs that Twitter had from 80 to 57, and Snapchat. Snapchat's been quite a run. Consolidating for a while. But, man, the writing, not that it was on the wall, but there are a lot of great opportunities in this equity, man. If you believe they were going to be around, right, when this thing was plummeting down to $4, it was talked about maybe they get purchased or something like that. Yeah, even at the COVID lows of $6, we came into COVID at about 20. You're trading at 61.26 for Snapchat. And Snapchat right now, still, you're talking about a company only valued at $95 billion compared to Facebook, 10 times the size of that company, but deservedly so. We'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave. Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets pretty much where we picked up. This just may be trailing off into the long weekend. Hope everyone has a great Memorial Day. Please be safe. I don't just say it, folks. You know, you're out there. We're having a good time. We all have all this pent-up demand. We're going to be out and about a lot. I know people like to enjoy alcohol. I'm not a big drinker myself, alcohol. it's a poison for your body. But sometimes, people drink too much. Take an Uber, folks. Be safe out there. Just be aware of it because it's a long weekend. We got a lot of pent-up demand. People want to get out, visit our friends and family. Just do it safely. S&Ps, we're up 10 points, and we get the VIX right now. You're talking about a VIX trailing off to lower prices. We just hit 1636, 1651. We could get a 15 handle by the end of the day as the long weekend awaits us all, right? S&P's up 11, as I mentioned, and let's jump to some of the stocks we talked about moving. Remarkable action on AMC coming into the long weekend. I guess we're all going to go see movies at AMC this weekend, right? Maybe not the case. Up another 28.5% this morning. You got GameStop up 2% at $259. Still pretty staggering numbers in a big way on that. When you look at just the moves you have, folks, and we'll jump to Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin catching a little bit of a bid, up more than $2,000 from the lows. But, man, be careful of that market because Bitcoin is not going away, folks. It is not, but it still serves a purpose at 37,000, just like it would serve a purpose at 20,000 or even 10,000 would still serve a purpose. We started the year, the fiscal year. Folks, it seems like Bitcoin's been on a tear forever because it has, but that tear really began in 2021. When we traded to a level, we started the year, you back it up to December, you were at 22,000. You come into the year at 30,000. You make it to 65. You don't have to back it up far to get a price tag of about $10,000. You're talking about last October. All right, so be aware of that if you're in that market in a big way. Don't get into Doge. Do me a favor, all right, because that one might be going to zero in no time. Folks, I appreciate you tuning in, starting your day with me. Stay tuned. We got our man Basil Chapman. He's coming up live next with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Fast Market coming up live at 11. Basil Chapman, I'm used to Basil. Larry Pesavento plans on being in there at noon. Live programming all day, folks. Appreciate you starting your Friday with me. Stay tuned out there. We get the S&Ps up by 10. We get the NASDAQ up by 52 and the Dow up by 123. Stay tuned, folks. Our man Basil Chapman. He's coming up live next. Thanks.